All right, so today we're diving deep into the Dremel US40 Ultra-Saw toolkit.
Sounds good.
We're basing this on a recent episode of the Toolbox Talk podcast on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, Basically, we're going to kind of condense it down into the most essential points and the most practical hacks,
Right.
and really just try to give you a solid understanding of how this thing works and how you can use it effectively without overwhelming you with too many details.
Yeah, like filtering out all the noise and just getting right to the core of it.
Exactly, exactly. So let's jump right in. The Dremel US40, first thing that jumps out at you is the size. It's incredibly compact, weighs only 4.6 pounds, and it's only about 13 inches long.
Yeah, you wouldn't think something that small would pack much of a punch, but
Right.
you'd be wrong about that. This thing's got a 7.5 amp motor and spins at 13,000 RPM.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. And
Yeah.
they actually, in the podcast, they compared it to some of the bulkier angle grinders out there.
Oh yeah, they did. And the US40 definitely has the advantage when you're working in tight spaces or need that extra level of control for more intricate cuts.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that stood out to me is that it's corded,
Oh, yeah, I noticed that too.
which is kind of refreshing in a world where everything seems to be going cordless. No battery anxiety with this thing. Just plug it in, go.
Yeah, especially for those bigger projects or when you just don't want to deal with the downtime of waiting for batteries to charge.
Absolutely. Plus, they mentioned it's got a brushless motor.
Oh, right. Which means less maintenance down the line.
Exactly. Fewer moving parts, less wear and tear. So it should last a good long time,
That's always a good thing.
for sure. So we've got compact, powerful, and always ready to go.
What more could you ask for?
Right. Now let's get into those hacks they were talking about. The first one that really caught my attention was the US40's ability to cut through pretty much anything. Metal, tile, plastic.
Yeah, it's a real multi-material champ, which is super convenient because you don't have to keep switching tools for different parts of your project.
Yeah, exactly. And they specifically mentioned the 4-inch high-speed steel blades and the metal foot guard as being really important for cutting through metal.
Oh, yeah, because those materials can generate a lot of heat.
Right.
So those features help to dissipate that heat and keep everything running smoothly.
And for tile work, they talked about the plunge cut feature.
Oh, yeah, that's a game changer. Being able to start a cut right in the middle of the tile instead of having to work from the edge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Super useful for cutting out openings for things like pipes or electrical outlets.
Yeah, and they also mentioned the auxiliary handle, which is really helpful for getting smoother, straighter cuts, especially when you're working with something like PVC.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more control and stability.
And less vibration, too.
Right. So all around, cleaner, more professional looking results.
For sure.
And it's not just limited to sawing either. They hinted at it being able to do some grinding and even surface prepping.
Yeah, with the right attachments, you can really get a lot of mileage out of this thing.
It's like the Swiss Army knife of power tools.
I like that.
So hack number 2 was all about making DIY precision guides to help you get those perfectly straight or curved cuts.
Which is brilliant because those can be really tough to do freehand.
Right. And what's really neat is they showed how you can just clip a speed square right to the foot of the saw to get a perfectly straight cut.
Yeah, that's so simple, but so effective.
I know, right? No need for fancy laser guides or anything.
And for curved cuts, they talked about using templates.
Yeah, and the US40's flush cut capability is really key for that.
Right, because it lets you follow the template really closely without leaving a big gap.
Exactly. So you get nice, clean, precise results.
They gave some great examples, like making custom furniture pieces or repairing intricate trim work.
Yeah, those are perfect applications for that kind of precision.
Definitely.
Now, hack number 3 was all about portability. And we already talked about the advantage of having corded power, but they framed this in the context of being able to take the US40 anywhere and do repairs on the go.
Oh, yeah, like that example they gave of cutting through rusted bolts on a truck.
Exactly. In those situations, you don't want to be messing around with batteries that might die on you.
You need something you can rely on.
Right. And they brought up the heat-resistant guard again in this context, too, talking about how it helps to protect nearby plastic parts when you're doing those kind of tougher jobs.
Yeah, that's a really important detail. It's all about preventing accidental damage.
Definitely.
Hmm.
All right. Hack number 4 was all about the Dremel accessory ecosystem, which is where things get really interesting.
Oh, yeah, because that's where you can really see the versatility of the US40 shine.
Right. They talked about how you can turn it into a sander, an engraver, even a detail carver.
Yeah, it's like having a whole workshop in one tool.
I know, right? And they mentioned all kinds of specialized blades, too, like diamond blades for cutting glass and carbide wheels for concrete.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
And they emphasized how easy it is to swap out the accessories, too.
Yeah, just a quick 10-second job with the included hex key.
Exactly. So you can switch between functions in a flash.
Very convenient.
Okay, last but not least, hack number 5 was all about safety and long-term care.
Can't forget about that.
They really stressed the importance of using the auxiliary handle, especially for heavy-duty cutting, to prevent kickback.
Yeah, safety first.
Always.
Yeah.
And they gave a great tip about cleaning the vents after grinding to prevent dust buildup.
Yeah, that's a good one. It'll keep your tool running smoothly for years to come.
Exactly. And as a reminder, the Dremel US40 comes with a 2-year warranty, so make sure to register your tool online.
Good advice.
All right, so let's talk about the bottom line cost efficiency. The podcast host made a really strong case for the US40 being a great value for the money.
Yeah, especially when you consider how many different tools it can potentially replace.
Exactly. You're looking at under $150 for something that can do the work of an angle grinder, a tile saw, maybe even a dedicated carving or sanding tool.
It's a pretty incredible deal when you think about it.
So overall, our deep dive into the Dremel US40 reveals a tool that's powerful, versatile, and surprisingly affordable.
Yeah, and those hacks we talked about really highlight its practicality and ease of use.
Exactly. It's a tool that can handle pretty much anything you throw at it.
And it's built to last.
So the question for you, our listener, is this. How could the Dremel US40 transform your DIY projects? What kind of possibilities does it open up for you? Maybe you've got some tricky cuts you've been putting off or some home repairs that need tackling.
Or maybe you're just looking to expand your DIY horizons.
It's definitely worth checking out the full range of Dremel accessories and seeing just how much this one tool can do.
It might just surprise you.
Until next time, keep those DIY dreams alive.
And keep on building.